Welcome back to the College Football 25 Online Dynasty League that I'm hosting. We are currently closing in on our first successful season so far, which has went very, very well. We had Georgia taking on Notre Dame. Georgia is the user team. He ends up winning his match 42-24. Spoiler alert for my match, which I'm going to end up breaking down some things as I'm facing the user team Texas. And the results of that game was complete domination. It was 76-15, the final score. Now I'm going to do my best to break down the things that I do, my reads, and all that good stuff to possibly help improve your guys' game. And then today's video is just focus on that. And then the next video, which you guys will see, another breakdown video against Georgia in the national championship game. So, bear with me trying to explain what I do because it's very hard how I play the game compared to how others play the game, because a lot of people that play the game, they try to look for money plays, cheese plays, things of that sort, and it doesn't really come down to football IQ of how they break down things and how they make reads. Mine's completely different, and it's just based off how you play the game. It's also all based off, people's play styles, the tendency, what they're good, what they're bad at. There's a lot of factors that I intake in how I go about playing my games. And of course, you guys seen throughout the season, domination not only against user teams, but as well against CPU. And it's like, how do you do it? There's just a lot to intake, and you can't really replicate what I do. You guys can take some ideas, but as far as trying to copy and paste, like how people post YouTube video tips on, EA Sports football games, it's just hard to replicate what I exactly do compared to what they showcase. So when I come out during the pre-snap, walking out to the line of scrimmage, I'm always looking at how the defense, especially on the offense, is set up. You can basically tell what coverage they're in. Now, if you play really good players, a lot of times they try to disguise, and when they do disguise their defense to look like, like a cover 2, a cover 3, the first thing I'm looking at is how the DB is going to react. You can look at the safeties. It can tell what coverage they're going to be exactly in. As far as adjustments, I'm not going to be worried too much of what they do. Of course, if you're running like the same plays, it's going to be easy to read what their simple adjustments is going to be. But outside of that, that's the key things I'm looking at. How they're lined up, and then if it's disguised, I'm just looking at the DBs because that's going to tell you what coverage they're going to end up playing. Now, I know my opponent's going to be in zone coverage. I'm going to hit my slot receiver on a streak down the middle. It's pretty much cover 2. Just because how the DB is going to play this, all you got to get used to is, passing. Timing of passing. This is just repetition over numerous years of competing and, getting the timing of passing. Now, I was under pressure, usually in the past, especially with Madden. This would be an inaccurate pass and this would be picked off because under pressure affects passes like this. So this would have been an underthrown pass and it would have been picked off. Now, you guys see right here, once again, I'm looking at how the defense is lined up. This is pretty much man coverage or, a zero-man blitz coverage defense. All I'm going to do is put square to alleviate help based off, the deep routes, trying to get my best receiver wide open. So I'm going to put square on pretty much a screen pass, and this way I'm going to make a simple read. I know I'm going to have a matchup with the safety because the slot DB is going to end up blitzing. Now, based off how the safety plays, all I have to do is figure out if I'm going to pass lead inside or outside. So this is another thing when a lot of people shade their coverage, especially pre-snap, you're going to see the DBs pretty much move inside or move outside. This is why I never do it myself. I don't recommend others to do it, but a lot of people do it to help Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But if I would have left this play just base and just have square be set on a streak, and I'm throwing to the inside slot, most of the time people will click on the cornerback depending on how the game functions and who they're going to be able to click on. But if they don't click on, CPU help will kick in, and I would throw an incomplete pass. So I end up getting the one-on-one I want, just got pass lead outside. This is also repetition of timing passing. You got to get used to. Now, college football has this well done. It's just how you got to get used to it. I'm going to show some other plays later on in today's match from my opponent and myself and how, the difference is. Now, right here earlier on, my opponent was running, the post corner routes. A lot of people still play this like Madden, a lot of Madden scheme, a lot of, streak post corner combinations. Like I said, there's a lot of people that copy and paste and it's so used to, how I adjust and go about it. Now, once again, this year people complain that defense don't really work. You guys are going to see the purple zone coverage by my slot receiver work. So he's going to get the press inside to reroute the slot receivers so he can play the post corner route much better. And then you guys know in the past that passing accuracy, especially in Madden, where purple zone doesn't really play this correctly, which is where a lot of people have to pretty much do zone drops so they can get certain coverages to play properly. So it's good to see some pass coverages just based off ratings. They do work time to time. Now, I'm not going to say it works 100% of the time, but in the past, especially with Madden, a lot of people had to adjust like cloud flats to play like 25 yards or so just so they can play the post corner route. So this is one of the improvements that EA has really done with College Football 25. It's just a lot of people, they're probably not used to it. They still try to do things in Madden way. You just have to do trial and tribulation, practice, labbing. But yeah, so earlier on, my opponent was doing, the post corner routes. And there's plays where you can do like cover 3 cloud over, which, especially in trips, this is the best defense to run. And like I said, there's plays where you can pick where it literally stops certain plays and formations where you don't have to do any type of adjustment. So my opponent ends up making this pass. You guys are going to watch the slots interact together. So my slot DB presses him inside, reroutes the route, and he's able to lurk it. And this is all based off user precision passing. So of course he has the right mindset, but if he would have passed led up, he probably would have had a more efficient pass to complete that pass. Right here, once again, pre-snap look. This is how I'm reading the defense. I can see what he's going to be in. It's pretty much cover 0, man blitz. And that's another way to tell what your opponent likes to do. If there are a lot of man blitz players, coverage players. So you guys are going to see, especially in the national championship match against Georgia, my opponent ran a lot of man coverage. So I do play action fake. And I know I got a mismatch with my tight end and safety. Just got to, precision pass it underneath because the safety's over top. Go user control it. Height difference, mismatch. And you guys see the outcome of that. If I would have passed let it over top, safety would have been able to make a play, make an interception, or disrupt the pass. This is very quick how everything is ran. That's why I kind of slowed it down because, my mind process things very quickly when it comes to football. Now, once again, this is a comp thing, doing my pre-snap reads. Like I said, a lot of people copy and paste. What do you see here right off the bat? It's mid-blitz. Everybody runs this online, regardless. Because why? They think because people, bait others to run this defense that it's very effective when they just show clips when it works. It doesn't work 99% of the time. Now, of course, I was running, motion with the receiver. Of course, everybody has the right mindset to pre-snap, move everybody in a direction to make a play. But this is also when you have to get used to when to hold turbo or not. So I don't hold turbo. My opponent's holding turbo. He over pursues. Just got to do a slight cut, able to break free. Now, once again, later on, you got to see right here, what is a pre-snap read? It's going to be mid blitz. Now, he doesn't press his DBs. And right off the bat, you have multiple things that you can do. You can end up throwing a quick slant because the DBs is pressed off. You just got to, do the right pass lead. You can run a hitch route. You can reroute the yardage for the hitch route to happen because you can make it to where you make it just enough where the DB will start to turn and then receiver cuts back for the ball. You can have an easy yardage pickup. In this case, I'm just running a simple RPO because I know that my opponent brings the left safety down into the box, and this is just where you got to figure out how to run the ball. Now, if I ran an ISO play RPO, I would have got tackled. So doing a stretch run right here, just reading my blocks, cutting, juking. This is just experience of, holding turbo or not, and then, the crazy footwork that I'm able to do on the sticks. That's just routine, play over and over. Right here, 4th and 3. My opponent needs a first down. He's not going to do a big pass play. Of course, he can run the ball, but a lot of people don't really run the ball in this situation. And based off the formation, who do I know that they're going to go to? Can you guys figure out what's the main first person everybody makes a read? It's going to be a tight end. So, of course, I put hard flats. Watch my slot DB on the right side play it. Now in the past, especially with Madden, we all know that hard flats really does not play properly, so we have to adjust the zone coverage yardage to play. But, College Football 25 has improvements with zone coverage. Look how it plays. Now this was also, a user mistake read, so you're going to have moments like that. So he threw a blind read, and you guys see the results right there. Now, right here, my opponent's going to do a play action fake. Sometimes I get fake hell out from people that do these things. But you're going to see a slot receiver come across the field from left to right. He has the right mindset read for his user passing right here. But you take a look at one of the things. Look at the icon under the quarterback. Because my opponent threw so many bad passes, he has the code ability, which is affecting his ratings. So also based off user timing and how he passes, he could have made an accurate pass where it's going to be underneath my safety and cornerback on the right side of the field, and just a little bit outside of my user skills on defense as I'm using the right linebacker. But this was a factor in how he had to throw the ball because he's on a cold streak with the quarterback, passing ratings, and user timing. It fixed the pass. So watch what happens right here. So, I'm trailing the receiver. I get beat. But look at that open space he had. If he threw it underneath and was able to complete that, would have made a big difference. But he overthrew. Interception happens. And this ends up going for a pick 6. So there are the hot streaks. As you guys see, my DB has a hot streak. So there's a hot streak and cold streak factors that also affect the game. There's a lot of little things that a lot of people don't realize about, College Football 25 that has, things that affect outcomes. And also abilities have a big factor, which I'm going to break down in, the national championship game, mismatches. If you guys don't look upon it, look at the details, it's going to make a much more bigger difference when you take the time to know those mismatches and knowing your opponent's strengths and weaknesses when it comes to abilities for certain players and how you go about it. So right here, once again, I'm taking a look at the defense. Throughout the game, my opponent likes to run mid-blitz, so I know that he's still going to try to find other formations, other disguises where he likes to blitz and have man coverage. So DBs is backed off. I know the slot receivers kind of lined up more inside. I know that's going to be a blitzing slot cornerback. I'm going to have one-on-one with my fastest receiver against, mismatched safety. All I got to do is make a read if I have to pass lead outside or inside. And I end up pass leading outside over top because I know my receiver is going to beat the DB even though he's pressed off. Because I time it perfect where, you know, the DB ends up just, turning around, he's going to be beat. If he's running, right with my receiver, he might be able to make a play, but it's all timing and, no name mismatch and just the ratings, just everything. There's a lot, like I said, I take into consideration. That's why a lot of people can't really replicate what I do. Now, at this point, it's a blowout game. I'm just trying to run clock, so I go and goal line defense. The most easiest thing to stop if you get the right personnel grouping. So that's another thing. If you guys don't know about the personnel matching, you can get beat in goal line with any formation out there, right? So he's still sitting in pretty much a nickel defense, which is considered a pass defense against like three receiver set. Uh, and it's pretty much all DBs on the field. It's just like when people run dimes. So this is another thing that you know college football kind of gets right with the personnel matching. Now I'm experienced with ball carrier vision, when and to when not hold turbo. So I don't hold turbo starting off. I try to let the block set up and see how I'm going to go running the ball. If I need to cut up field, stretch it outside, and also looking at the user. So right here, he goes inside. I'm immediately holding turbo because I know I'm going to have him beat just based off, you know, his user mistake and how he's pursuing the ball. And then pretty much just going to break free, as you guys see here. You guys going to see goal line being done a few more times in this match as I'm running out the time. So right here, another situation where I'm using goal line right before halftime. Um, Another thing a lot of people try to see, like in the past with Madden, you have the box feature where it showed red or green based off, the blocking assignments. That feature really did not work too well. So, in college football, they don't have that anymore. But, it's just based off how you're going to go about blocking. Like, you look at the matchups with the assignment blocking that they showcase during pre-snap, and a lot of people make their reads based off, flipping the run play left to right. Right here, I'm just going to run in traffic, see how the block's set up, and then all I'm looking at is what my opponent's going to be using. That's a key thing because I can tell if I can just, lurk him, cut back inside because a lot of people over pursue, and, when you play people that click off, you can easily fake out the CPU. So that's one thing that I like that EA improve over time. So right here, get the block set up, don't hold turbo. I start to hold turbo right here. See how my opponent's going to be pursuing. Then I just cut off the dime based off how he pursues. So like I said, there's a lot that I take quickly when, the gameplay actually happens. So I'm trying to slow it down to break it down as best as I can for you guys to try to get my whole concept idea, but like I said, you can't really replicate what I do. Once again, I'm back in goal line because it's a blowout game. Just trying to get the game over with. So he's still sitting in the same type of defense, nickel defense. That's how a lot of people play the game. A lot of people sit in the same thing, of course. I'm going to sit in the same thing that beats it, goal line. And then I'm going to run to the left. Just watch how everything happens. Slow down, of course, because it happens so fast. This is just repetition of me practicing over the years, especially running the ball and perfecting it. So I'm not going to hold turbo, try to let the block set up, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. So right here, traffic, you have to balance outside. My opponent elects to go from inside, so I know outsides are going to be free. You just got to know when to hold turbo. I held turbo once my opponent starts to, hit the gap, bounce outside, and boom, break him free. It's the little simplest things that you know, a lot of people don't think about, take into consideration. But when you think about these little details, you guys see outcomes like this. So I'm just quick thinking, and this is also a repetition of comp play, knowing the cheeses, the glitches, the exploits. It's just over time with the gameplay mechanics. Now, I'm not trying to say that EA is the best at making video games, but you have to adapt to how the games produce over time. So this is just years of repetition, practicing, and things of that sort. Game's not perfect at all whatsoever. It's just how you adapt to it. And then also there's the football IQ that is kind of taken into consideration. So you have to use that from time to time because the game does reflect that simulation aspect. Not 99% or 100% of the time, but it's there. So once again, bear with me as I try to do these breakdowns. I don't do it too often. I know you guys wanted more of this, of a little bit of an insight of how I go about, playing my games, all the reads, all that stuff. Like I said, I don't really do money plays, glitches, exploits, whatever the case may be. And, this is just based off how a lot of people play. Based off how you play is how I'm going to end up taking all my matches. Like, I don't go into the game um, with a game plan like, oh, I'm just going to constantly pass or I'm just going to constantly run because I know this glitch, this exploit, whatever the case may be. It's just based off how you play. I'm going to try to take you out of your game plan. So, like I said, there's a lot of factors to it, but I hope you guys got a better understanding of how I go about, my matches. But yeah, end up winning the semifinals for this match. So next video, you guys are going to see another breakdown between, the national championship match. And then, once again, for people that's interested in trying to join, especially a lot of people that, joined early on when we first started the season, had to get booted, banned, you guys are welcome back to rejoin. We're getting into the off season. That's when you guys are able to reselect a team. And, heading into next season, I'm going to split everybody into like two conferences. So there's a lot more user versus user matches. So for all the information, it's going to be down below in the description to the Discord for you guys to pretty much join in. Like I said, we got dedicated players that ended up lasting throughout this first season. Very successful season. So I'm looking forward to having you guys come back, especially those that did start off earlier on in the season and end up leaving. You guys are, free to come back and join the league. And then newcomers, if you're interested to show off your skills, you guys are also welcome. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be, once again, the national championship breakdown between myself and Georgia. And hopefully I'll see you guys in this Dynasty League that I'm hosting for College Football 25. Till next time, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.